want you to stay. I want you to stay. I want you to stay.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another review with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be covering a highly anticipated product by German Pharma, and it's called BETA ECDYSTERONE, aka a natural muscle builder. We've already covered their testosterone, so do head over and check out that review if you haven't seen it already. Aaron covered that one, but today we'll be getting through all the usuals on this: the taste, the price, the label, and the effects that I experienced in the 8 weeks that I took it. 2 bottles. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, tick the bell icon, drop a like on the video and let us know your thoughts on this product and natural muscle builders in general. Very intrigued to hear it. Let's go. Okay, so quite obviously there is no taste to mixability because they come in capsules, and I will flash up on the screen the size of them, but then, you know, they're easily doable. What more is there to say, really? It says you can take 1 to 2 a day, but personally, we review everything on max dosage, so even when it comes to natural muscle builders, so naturally took the 2 pills. Don't really matter when you take it, really, time of day. I would just try and take it a similar time of day every day, so that it's at least consistent in that regard. And I would try and have it with a meal, just for the, the ease of use, really. You can remember it easier if you're having it alongside a meal, can't you? So yeah, let's get into the price. So if you want to pick up BETA ECDYSTERONE or their testosterone, or any of their products for that matter, head over to prohormones.co.uk, where you can use our discount code RB10, knocks off 10% of anything on there, and it knocks the price of one of these bad boys down to £31.50. It's a 30-day supply at the max serve, and if you take 2 capsules, which I would highly recommend. So quite obviously, if you want to get at least 8 weeks worth, you'll need 2 of these, which comes to £63. But when you actually break it down and think about it, it's only about £1 a day, so it's really not bad. Like, if I'm a natural guy and I'm excited to put on gains, and you tell me I can potentially put on some mass for only £1 a day, I'm going to jump it. So I think, priced very well, especially when you think about pre-workouts. A £1 a go pre-workout would be seen as very, very well priced. So, just a little bit of perspective for you guys on the price segment. That is what it costs. Is it going to be worth it for you? You'll have to decipher that for yourself based on the effects, based on your own research. But let's get into the label. Okay, label time, and it's going to be quite short and sweet because it is only that one ingredient, BETA ECDYSTERONE, at 250 milligrams per the 1 capsule. If you take 2 capsules, like I recommend, like it says you can do on the side there, then it will actually be 500 milligrams of the ingredient that you're going to be getting per day. So what actually is it? Well, it's the chemical that's found in insects and some plants that's responsible for their growth and their vitality. It's meant to help with protein synthesis in humans. Studies have shown some really promising data. So how did I find it in the 8 weeks I used it? Stay tuned, we'll cover all of it. Okay, so on to that all-important effects section of BETA ECDYSTERONE by German Pharma in the 60-day period that I used it. 2 bottles worth at 2 capsules a day, 500 milligrams a day, that works out as. So something I want to make super clear to you guys before we do get into my experience is that, just to reiterate, this is a natural muscle builder, so therefore you'll still be natural when you take this. It's not a SARM, it's not a steroid, it's not going to shut you down, it's not going to mess with your hormones, you won't need any post-cycle therapy with it. No negatives to it, it's not going to negatively impact your system. Nothing to juggle around with. It's non-hormonal is what I'm getting at. So it's always a nice reassuring thing to know that you can take something that's got potential to give you gains with also no negatives. So I do think that's a very good thing about these kind of products. The laxogenins, the epicatechins, the terkesterones, the ecdysterones, any of them. But anyway, like I said, today we're going to be getting into my experience with BETA ECDYSTERONE. So just to give you a bit of backstory before I get into my personal experience, because I think it's very important to sort of lay the groundwork before I just go right in and be like, this done, blur. So I have been training for 10 years. I'm natural, apart from the fact I have used on a couple of occasions MK677, which although it sounds like a SARM, it's not. It's a growth hormone secretagogue. It's basically it's going to help your body put out more growth hormone and IGF-1. So yeah, I've used it on a couple of occasions. Yes, it's a grey area. It's sort of chemical. It's not technically a supplement. Technically, you're not natural if you use it, but that's all I've used. So yeah, do with that information what you will. I just want to make it clear right off the bat sort of where I stand supplement wise, because obviously this sort of thing might impact you differently if you've done gear all your life or you're on gear, for example. So that's why it's quite important. So yeah, natural, 10 years training, all apart from the MK677 that I've used a couple of times, but that's, you know, going back like half a year or more now since I've used that. So there we go, that lays the groundwork for that side of things. In terms of training, doing a 4-day split of chest, triceps, back, biceps, shoulders, legs, not necessarily in that order, with a rest day just when needed really. So a 4-day rolling split, everything's getting hit almost twice a week. So that's the training, that's my experience, that's how long I've been lifting, that's my natty status, all that kind of stuff put out there for you guys. Let's rewind a little bit after gyms reopened in the UK here after the last lockdown, which I believe was around April. So I went back into training, you know, just doing your bog standard 1 day a week, you know, bro split, diet, getting back on track, all that kind of thing. And I was at 79 kilos and I trained like that for like the first month of gyms reopening. And then I started the last muscle builder that I used, which was the Peak Performance Labs Nuclear Power, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So do check out that review if you haven't already. So I went from 79 kilos to 81 kilos on that product, keeping my calories exactly maintenance level, but then you can kind of account some of those gains for me, obviously training again after gyms reopened, although I did train through the lockdown as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed that product. I seem to have got leaner on it and like I said, gained a couple of kilos, but let's not go too far off track because that's a different product. You can check that review out if you want, but I think it's important that I let you know where I left off and when I started this. So I finished Nuclear Power, when was it? Must have been around July time. And then I left a couple of weeks gap and then that's when I started these bad boys. And I finished the 60-day period of these a couple of weeks back. I'm just reviewing it now, okay? So any images that I do flash up on the screen, which I will do for you shortly, is gonna be me in the last week after finishing the cycle, the 60-day period of taking this product. So it's all gonna be around that period of time for the most accurate representation of how I was looking towards the end / just finished, okay? So I started this product weighing 81 kilos. Fast forward 60 days, I finished it at 83 kilos. Now those are the black and white figures. Now let me give you a bit more depth to that and explanation. So obviously I've just told you I've done the last muscle builders before this one and I stayed at maintenance level calories, but I thought, you know what, I want to add a bit more fuel to the fire this time round. I want to increase my chances of making gains, so I decided to do a little bit of a lean bulk, nothing dramatic, just a few hundred extra calories per day in the form of, you know, chocolate, crisps, whatever I fancied, biscuits, nuts, because my actual stapled in meals are super duper clean anyway. We're talking salmon, steak, chicken, rice, noodles, potatoes, spinach, you know, all of the typical bro bodybuilding foods really. So I thought I may as well get the extra calories from little snacky type things when I fancy them. So that's how I got those extra calories, putting me a few hundred over my maintenance level of calorie intake. So obviously some of that 2 kilos is going to be down to the fact that I was eating increased calories, but then that in turn also enabled me to train harder, which may have burnt off more calories. So it's like, how would you possibly know without going ultra serious doing all the calculations? But irrespective of that, I do strongly believe that this product helped me gain those extra couple of kilos, and I think the pictures speak for themselves. You know, obviously some of it is body fat that I've gained, but I do think that I've put on a nice amount of muscle as well. I just feel thicker, I feel stronger, more endurance. I'm at the strongest I've ever been currently, especially when you factor in strength to body weight ratio. So I'm very pleased with the effects that I've got from this really, with no negatives as well, which what more can you ask for as a natural? So with ecdysterone or any muscle builders, there's no real right or wrong way to go about it in terms of bulking or cutting when using it, because if you cut and use it, it's going to help you to retain muscle, and if you bulk and use it, it's going to help you to build muscle. So it is a jack of all trades in that regard, but then again, you know, you could argue the same for anything that's going to help put on muscle mass. You know, even gear and SARMs, it's going to help you whether you're cutting or bulking, isn't it really? So you've got to kind of look at these in the same way. The only thing I would make clear is that I think the reason there's so many skewed results with these kind of products is because Well, one, some of them, let's say they've got a certain ingredient in them, might not have it in there. They might have nothing in there, or they might have SARMs in there, something dangerous. So there's that factor. There's also the fact that everyone responds to things differently. You know, some people are non-responders, some people are hyper-responders. Some people take this stuff at the wrong dosages. Some people are taking it and they're not eating and training right. So it leaves for just an absolute mess of feedback on these products. And that's why when we do these reviews, we really do have to nail down our circumstances. You know, what are we really trying to get out of it? Are we cutting? Are we bulking? What's our training like? Is everything on point? You know, we really do have to eyeball it really detailed to make sure that these reviews are as accurate as possible. Because like I say, I think that's why there's so many negatives, like super negative reviews on it, but also super positive, because there's such a wide spectrum of variables that can go wrong with these types of products. So that's just something to bear in mind whenever you're looking at our review or any other people's reviews of these types of things. So I think I've covered everything. Generally, a really good experience with this product. No negatives to speak of, which again is great. I want to know what you think of it down in the comment section. Is it something you're interested in? Have you ever used anything like this? So ultimately, I definitely would recommend it if you're a natural lifter, if you've already got your diet and training on point and you want to look at, you know, moving into the muscle builder type of realm, but without any of the negatives that can come with SARMs and steroids. Yes, it's definitely for you guys. If you're someone that's not got your diet and training on point, or you're a bit of a weekend warrior lifter that doesn't really have a good training protocol or diet, then I would say, you know, not really. I would say get that on point first, then go for this. If you're someone who's on steroids or SARMs, then you can give it a go, but I really don't think it would do much if you're already blasting yourself for those kind of things. It might be a nice little addition because it works by a different pathway, but you know, apples and oranges, it's not really something I would particularly bother with if I was blasting test and trend, for example. So yeah, it just depends on your circumstances. What are your wants and needs? What do you want to get out of it? What's your budget like? Is it affordable to you? All the rest of it. But hopefully this review has shed some light on it if it's the sort of thing you might want to go for. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below. And as always, stay gaining.